Hey everybody, this is the Review Revolution, back at you again. This time doing a response video to the On the Spots question of the month. I know I do a lot of response videos. Well, you ask me my opinion, I'll give it to you. But the question of the month for On the Spot was, what do you think of the Build-A-Figure, Collect and Connect, kind of buy a wave and get a bonus figure out of it? Well, that's a good question because there are so many different levels that question can be approached on and be discussed about. Obviously, you know, the first one, what do you think about the idea of having to buy the whole wave to get the free figure? You know, I've never really looked at the waves so much as individual figures, individual parts, as more like it's the wave. It's this wave. It was wave 10. It was wave 7. It's going to be wave 5. So I've always looked at it as the wave, and the Collect and Connect or the Build-A-Figure that was included was just another figure in the wave. So a little disappointed about, say, someone like boy, I have a hard time thinking of a good one I'd be disappointed in. Well, like MODOK, for example, the one that we're just going to wrap up here pretty soon with Marvel Legends. MODOK's not necessarily a character that I think is all that great, but it's one of the things where he is a figure in that wave, just one of many. So in the sense of how do I feel about having to buy the full wave to get that figure, I don't look at it that way. I just look that he is another figure in that wave. The other thing that you can approach it with is the question of the cost. Of course, you do have to buy that full wave. One of the other things I do like about the Collect and Connect figures is that, in the sense of when you're looking at the cost of the set, say with variant about $120 US for the full set with maybe one of the variants, plus tax or shipping or however you're getting it. You're looking at that at paying about $15 per figure. The addition of the bonus figure, the Collect and Connect or the Build-A-Figure, whichever term you want to use, is kind of helps break up that price a little. You're not looking at so much as saying, okay, I'm spending $15 for a figure. You may look at it as spending more like, $12 for a figure, which is a little more reasonable. One of the things about the Collect and Connects or the Build-A-Figures that I like is that price-wise for Mattel, and I'll discuss this a lot in relation to Mattel because right now they are the dominant manufacturers of these kind of figures. Their Stars line, their Star figure line, the ones that are just re-releases of figures from previous waves, they're running about the same price, about $15, not including the Build-A-Figure piece. So when it comes to the waves and the Build-A-Figures, price-wise, I do think that I am getting a slightly better deal because I am intending to get the full wave anyway, and I can justify the price a little bit better because I'm actually getting a bonus figure at the end. Now, I think that it wouldn't be right to talk about the Build-A-Figure figure wave series. I don't think any discussion of that is complete without really being able to talk about chase figures and the secondary market. That's a whole other subject unto itself, but when we bring in the Collect and Connect element, the idea that we do need that full wave to build the figure, then that makes the Build-A-Figures a little bit less appealing because even though you may love some of the figures that are in the wave, if you're missing just one, you have an incomplete figure. You have an incomplete Build-A-Figure. Mattel, fortunately, with their last couple of waves, have made the chase figure, or done their best to make the chase figure a variant so that it doesn't as badly impact the completion of the Build-A-Figure. But with earlier waves, such as the Gentleman Ghost, that was a major issue. Mattel seems to have really tried to improve on it, and we will see how their efforts continue to go. But that is without a doubt one of the elements to the Build-A-Figure that make it rather frustrating. Another part of the Build-A-Figure program, for me at least, is how the figures have expanded. Basically, the completed figure has been broken into some additional parts, most notably the upper and lower torso, taking the original sets of Mattel figures from 5 to 6, and then the introduction of the display base, which clearly on the side of the boxes would show that it is a part meant for the Build-A-Figure, and it's a rather unnecessary piece. Most figures that included the base were big-name characters that I probably would have bought anyway, but if you're buying for the wave, like I do, getting a display base seems to be kind of, I don't know, it just seems to be kind of a cheap way of them trying to get a little bit more from me to go ahead and complete the set. There's no big reward to the Build-A-Figure. Maybe if they'd included an accessory like a weapon or something like that, include that with whoever the base figure is, it would have been a little more rewarding. Along with more accurately conveying the character in a Build-A-Figure fashion, a larger Giganta, a larger Galactus, a more robust Kilowog. The Build-A-Figures are great. They really are the best way to go about it, and ultimately, for me, cost, they help offset that cost in a fairly noticeable way. I do usually buy my sets in full because my success in buying individual figures, a little here, a little there, has never been very successful. As such, because I have several leftover pieces, a lot of parts to figures I don't think I'll probably ever finish, the idea of being able to work together with other collectors. Hey, we're all characters, right? But with other collectors, to create some type of Build-A-Figure project, a place where everybody can kind of send their pieces in, a single place where they can be collected, and then when enough pieces are finally collected or arrive to finish one of the Build-A-Figures, then anyone who's participating can have the opportunity to try and win that completed figure. Seems like a really appealing one to me. I would be more than happy to try it out. I would just like to know from everyone else whether or not it's something they'd be interested in and if they would like to participate. If you'd like to know more about it, if you'd like to see my original video, check out my channel, TheReviewRevolution. But for now, I'd say rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. See you next time. Bye-bye.